way raindrops coalesce around small particles, small solid particles in a cloud. They're called condensation nuclei. What you need to make raindrops is small pieces of dust, or pollen, or salt, and the more of those that you have in a cloud, the more likely it is that you're going to get raindrops. So the idea of cloud seeding was you artificially seed the cloud.
A rain cloud can contain more than 8 million tons of water, so the power to control when and where rain falls has greatly interested governments and the military. Could rain be used as a weapon of war? In 1952, the RAF conducted a cloud seeding experiment above Bedfordshire. The results were inconclusive. Cloud seeding was abandoned as a military option.
Bit back.
It was the American Air Force that seized on the potential of cloud seeding in the 1960s and poured money into research. During the Vietnam War, the Pentagon was keen to use anything that might give them an advantage in the fight against the Viet Cong, an elusive guerrilla army. Their aim was to trigger rain to fall on the Viet Cong's key strategic supply routes. And in March 1967, this new weapon was put to the test in Operation Project Popeye.
Motherfucker.
Experiments continued for 5 years until 1972, when a Pentagon document was leaked to the American press. The public were outraged, and the experiments were halted. Yet today, cloud seeding is carried out throughout the world. The Chinese did it during the Olympic Games. But scientists disagree about the effectiveness of cloud seeding.
It's been extremely difficult to show that this actually works. In fact, the random trials have shown, as best we can see, that it doesn't work. But in some countries of the world, it still goes on. And in fact, in China, there's more people trying to modify the weather than there are trying to forecast it.
Fuck me.
Despite our attempts to manipulate the rain, we will never truly be the masters of it.
The 11th hour, which means midnight is just around the corner.
You know, when you look at the history of humanity, it's basically this relationship between the two most complicated systems on Earth, human society and nature, and whether people have, in fact, lived in a good balance in that regard. And when they don't, they're gone. And, you know, at the end of the day, when we all talk about saving the environment, in a way it's misstated, because
the environment's fine.
The environment is going to survive. We're the ones who may not survive, or we may survive in a world that we don't particularly want to live in.
Our biosphere is sick. We have a planet that's behaving like an infected organism. If you look at it from outer space, you see all these lights, and it's the lights of of planet Earth, it's the lives of the people, but it's also almost like looking at an organism that has an infection on it, that is forming a crust of some kind.
Well, I don't want to think that the biosphere is in trouble. I know it is. I just have to look around in the environment in which I live.
What I hear in my dreams is generations in the future screaming back to us in time, saying, "What are you doing? Don't you see? We are at this critical point in time, and we've evolved to be the leaders of our biological community, and we are misleading. We are causing the devastation to our very foundation of our life system that has given us birth, and we are ultimately committing suicide."
So as we destroy nature, we will be destroyed in the process. There's no escaping that conclusion.
Earth's